Hi everybody, Amanda Betcher here, week 7, oral presentation, and the last one. I must say I've enjoyed these. I've enjoyed watching yours, so thanks for putting yourself out there. And let's get to the power of conformity. This is based on individuals' opinions and social pressure, and it's conducted by Solomon Asch. And the article covers how Asch's experiments determine the factors that induce social conformity. This study is about individuals having a powerful need to conform to others in social situations, meaning people tend to follow social norms. So social norms are the unspoken guidelines for behaviors in any given group. Many people have experienced a time when you felt uncomfortable with what you were doing. Most likely it was because you were doing it because everyone else was doing it. So going against your moral judgments. The reason behind this choice is what we will learn about today. So the significance of this study, prior to Asch's work, and of course it was known that people followed the herd, but why? So Asch was able to show this power of conformity in a clear and concise way, and this study has paved the way to more additional studies, which we'll talk about a bit later. In 1950, Asch set out to find out why people conformed with one another based on perceptual conformity, which you see, hear, taste, smell, and touch around the world. So Asch believed that the need to conform or go along with the group was very powerful, and predicted that he could cause a person to conform due to group pressures. Asch used a visual aspect of perceptual conformity in his experiments. He showed a group of participants a set of cards, and each card had a set of 3 lines on it, and all various lengths. And these lines were called comparison lines. When he showed them to participants, he asked which 3 lines are the same as the standard line. So within this group, there was 1 participant and 7 confederates in the study. So that's a control group. The study begins with everyone answers aloud individually, starting with the control group and ending with the 1 participant. The control group and the participant, the first couple times, will choose the correct corresponding line for the first several times. And then on the 3rd set of cards, all the individuals in the control group purposely choose the wrong line to match the standard line. Now understand, these lines are not very similar. I have a little prop. I don't know if you'll be able to read it. I don't think so, but I think that's going to be okay. So this is the standard line here. And then you can see it's pretty long. And then we have the comparison lines, which obviously this is the correct one. And then you have a small one, and then you have a medium-sized one. So you can see that they're clearly different. At this point, the participant needs to make a decision because all of the control group individuals have chosen the wrong line. And the participant can either choose the blatantly wrong line, or which is clear, or state the correct line, which is clearly the correct one, and go against the group. This experiment occurred several times for each participant. So interestingly, 75% of the participants answered wrongly with the control group. So they conformed to the group. So to put this in perspective, if we had 100 individuals or participants, and that means 25 of them conformed, knowingly went against their own opinions, did that at least once. So overall, the amount of incorrect answers given by the participants occurred 1/3 of the time. So Asch just wanted to ensure that this study was accurate, and so he had the control group document their true answers of the line matches with paper and pencil. So the control group accurately identified the correct match 90 8% of the time. So, as mentioned earlier, Ash's study found the need to conform to be very strong, but his study also led the way to new findings related to conformity, such as how people handle conformity when others agree with you. So, more than one person is on your side in that group. So, that's social support. The more a group appeals to you, the more likely you're going to conform to that group. So, that one is called attraction and commitment to the group. Then the third one is the more people that are involved in the group, the more apt that you will join and conform. But it peaks at 6 to 7 members. So before 6 members and after 7 members, it kind of, the strength decreases. And that's called size of the group. And the last one is sex group. And that, in early testing, researchers found that women tended to conform at higher levels and more frequently than men. But when further investigated, it was found that the testing conditions had been just more familiar for men, and since has been found that there's no difference between men and women and conformity. So the pros and cons of this study, there are a few different ones. So first, Ash took the initiative to ensure the findings were not skewed by having the control group provide their true answers, and that was a 98%. So that was pretty, that's within that range of being valid. And he did a few other studies that piggybacked off of this one, and this shows that he was pretty confident in his findings, and he was looking to answer more questions related to conformity. The cons of the study is that the results, do they ring true in real life situations? Some individuals argue that that the pressure to conform in real life is proportionate to the pressures to conform in the lab. And I think this study has value to everyone because we need to be aware of pressures around us to conform, which means, excuse me, which means if we're not aware, then we're unable to develop and express our own opinions on a conscious level. And, you know, it's important for us to be aware of conformity so we can choose to go with the crowd or choose to not go with the crowd. This study has also opened doors for various studies, such as how conformity to peer pressure can be a predictor at high-risk sexual activities, such as failure to use a condom, multiple sex partners, alcohol and other drugs, and a high sexual history. So young adults all know the risks of these, but due to peer pressure and conformity reasons, they kind of go along with it. So that is my presentation. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to watching your presentations. Have a great day.